Hey, I'm Andy from Buzz, and I'm here with Julian, who's one of the owners of the island.
G'day.
G'day. Could you tell us a little bit about the history of the island?
Yeah, this is an idea I had. I think I was at a music festival, or I was definitely partying, and the idea was to create a floating venue. Essentially, we're approved and licensed like a regular cruising charter boats, any of these sort of Vagabond or Captain Cook things that cruise around. But the difference is we're stationary and we have a ferry to transfer people on and off. So it gives people the feeling that it's a venue to visit and drop in on, rather than a cruise where you all have to be there at that certain time, file on like cattle, and then you can't get off, until the end. So you're sort of in a prison until the end. So that's our point of difference, other than the fact that we can therefore, being stationary, be much more open. We have a swimming pool. And yeah, it's a much more casual, laid-back experience that tends to appeal not just to tourists, but actually locals in Sydney too, which is kind of rare.
Do you have any favourite gigs over the years?
We had Hayden James on here last week, which was a huge highlight.
Yeah.
He played on here about 10 years ago, and it was so good to have him back. And he's just, he's just an exceptional artist. And we've had so many. We were very fortunate to have the Channel V island parties running for about 6 years, where we had everyone from Ed Sheeran to Diplo, and everyone in between. So that was amazing. But others were like Luciano, and there's been some real standouts over the years.
So this season we helped you get this new MM Acoustics sound system.
Yeah, thank you for that.
No worries.
It's been amazing.
I guess, how do you think that's impacted the venue?
Look, I mean, it's changed everything, and it's given the venue a concert, a sort of festival energy every single time we trade. We've got to be cognizant of the levels that we use it at, because it is a very powerful system. But the idea is it is as such that we don't have to have it as loud because of the power and the clarity that it has. And so it's certainly delivered. And both the customers and all the DJs that play for us are very, very grateful.
So I guess one thing that leads on to is, with the extra volume you could get out of the MM system, for the first few months we were having issues where the DJs were coming on and slamming it into the reds, and it was either too loud for the audience or they were pushing through distortion. So that's when we added this RC1 audio red alert, which helps to stop that. So have you got any kind of insight to how it's been using this on board for the last few months?
Yeah, it's been really interesting, and I guess the funniest thing about this system and how we came to end up getting it, or going with your advice to get it, is that I am the venue owner and operator, but I also DJ on here from time to time. And so one hat is the venue operator, where I'm responsible and very mindful of noise and redlining the deck, the mixer, which would lead to a loss of clarity and too loud on the venue, things like that. And I will, scold my DJs and say, look what you've done, and you can see they've got carried away. But when I play myself, I've got to say I get carried away myself.
It's hard.
And then it's hard. And I realise, volume when you're a DJ is kind of like crack, and it's addictive. It's addictive. So
it just creeps up. You
just
mix one track in louder than the last one.
Yeah, well, exactly. So it's one. It seems as though the solution is always creeping up, not down, as a DJ. And so I've got a bit more empathy for the other guys that we book out here. And that's when you made this great suggestion to use Red Alert. And it's worked a treat. It's worked really well. In the end of the day, I think with just about anything regarding life and the human condition, there's only two things that motivate people's behaviour, and that is the carrot and the stick. And the carrot, I guess, is the volume, and in this case we now have a stick, which is that if we redline the system for more than, 5 seconds?
It's about 10 seconds.
10 seconds, the booth monitors behind us cut out, and that's like cutting off our oxygen supply. So that's the stick. And
It's not just the DJ, because normally you've got a few people up here. So
yeah, no,
it's a vibe for everyone.
it upsets everybody. So it's a really good stick, and it works. It actually means that I've watched DJs. They'll actually do it a few times, like the rat in the wheel that just keeps spinning. But they will, including me, slowly learn that it's just not worth having it cut out for those 30 seconds. And you're right, ruin the vibe and the flow. Especially at the best point of a song or something like that. So you know, when you zap someone enough times, they actually respond, and it's been a very, very good solution. A lot better than other much more expensive solutions that might have involved you know, tuning down the amps or things like that.
Awesome. And have the DJs been happy with it? Have anyone complained or?
No, they when they first realise what's going on, because even if you, for the ones that we didn't explain it to up front, they sort of panic and then they don't know what's going on. Then you explain it to them, and they have this sort of look in their eye, like, you bastard. But also, it's in my control. It's in my hands. You know, so it's pretty funny. But I've got to say, in the end of the day, it is still the DJ who, you know, who's making the call on whether or not they end up redlining the thing or not, and then what leads to the booth monitors cutting out, and you know, the stick comes out. So in the end of the day, they kind of go, all right, we're going to use the stick, clearly not the carrot, and everybody has actually stepped into line, and it's made for such a better experience, because we all know that when you're redlining, you know, a mixer, it compresses sound and it just doesn't sound as good.
Totally. And what do the managers think about it? I'm assuming that's made their lives a bit easier.
It has, and particularly Harley, the licensee, who's, you know, very on to managing, you know, keeping the sound at an appropriate level, and it's been great for him. His nerves are no longer shot, and he's not running over here like a madman, pointing at the red lines and just sort of saying, guys, you're professional DJs, why are you doing this? And, you know, I was guilty, like I said, of doing the same thing myself. So, you know, it's lucky we're not all pilots. We're just DJs down here on the ground, and we can't really crash anything operating this heavy machinery. Cool.
So to wrap it up, have you guys got any big plans for next season?
Just more of the same. More
new speakers for the mezzanine, I know.
Yes, are they right? Are they in?
They are about to arrive.
Great,
so I think they're due in 2 weeks.
Great.
So we'll have plenty of time over the off season to get them in, get them tuned and ready to roll.
That'll be great. I'm looking at some really good acts that we're going to book already for next season. What I've found is with this new system, more and more DJs are actually asking to play out here. You know, it's unbelievable. You know, the customers, it's more of a subconscious thing that they're like, oh my God, I don't know why I had such a great day, but they were standing in front of a great stack of subwoofers. But it's the DJs. Even Hayden James, who played on here 10 years ago when it was that tiny little EAW house system, and he was just like, what have you given me here? So yeah, we're definitely kids with a new toy, and thanks to you helping make it happen.
No worries. Awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time to chat.
Not at all.
And there's still a few weeks left of the season. What is it, 3 more weeks you've got?
Exactly.
The weather's awesome.
Exactly. So tickets are available on the website. Look out for some of our particular shows. We've got my friend Mikey coming in from Bali next week for Rituals. But yeah, there's still some fun to be had over the next few weeks.
Awesome. All right, so thanks very much. And if anyone's keen for some MM Acoustics or some RC1, hit us up and we can chat and try to help you out.
Yeah, if you need any more information or want to come out and have a listen yourself, you just let me know, Andy, if there's any prospective customers. This is as good as your showroom.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you so much.
Cheers.